Someone needs to stop horsing around and start spilling the tea. Let's talk about Felicity Merriman. Felicity is the fourth American Girl historical doll who was released in fall 1991 after Pleasant Company was able to source flesh-toned torsos and centered parted wigs for their dolls. So, she was the fourth historical after Kirsten Larson, Samantha Parkington, and Molly McIntyre, and she has sold very well. In her stories, Felicity was born on April 21, 1765, and she is a young girl growing up during the American Revolution. She lives in Williamsburg, Virginia with her mother, Martha, her father, Edward, her little sister, Nan, her little brother William, and her baby sister Polly, along with her grandfather, who unfortunately passes away later on in the storyline from a sudden illness. Her storyline takes place from spring 1774 to autumn 1776. Felicity is described as spunky, sprightly, independent, loyal, spirited, and steadfast, but she is also kind, caring, compassionate, selfless, giggly, bubbly, and outgoing, even if a bit impulsive, stubborn, hot-headed, outspoken, and bad-tempered at times. Felicity is kind of a tomboy who dislikes most things considered ladylike during her decade, and she would rather go outside and do horseback riding than sit still and do sewing and domestic chores. She is not exactly considered ladylike, especially in comparison to her mother, and her best friend Elizabeth Cole, along with her snobby sister Annabelle, who looks down on her for being a shopkeeper's daughter. That being said, she frequently wears a pearl-beaded necklace, and she feels delighted about wearing a blue fancy dress to a ball at the governor's palace, and she tries her best to be ladylike during tea lessons, especially when she has her best friend Elizabeth by her side. Unlike Elizabeth, Felicity is more assertive and more likely to step into action, especially when it comes to protecting her horse friend, Penny, from a cruel horse owner, and she wishes to be like her other friend, Ben, who gets to wear pants and fight into battle. Felicity absolutely adores horses more than anything, and she often takes Penny out for rides across the fields. Felicity has her own movie, Felicity, An American Girl Adventure, which came out in 2005, and the actress who plays her is Shailene Woodley. Her original name was going to be Lucy, but the brand soon decided that Felicity would be a more suitable name for her time period and her character, and she was actually going to be blonde, but they decided to make her a redhead instead, along with giving her electric green eyes. Felicity originally had a cream-colored dress with a rose pattern in 1991, but in 2005 she was given a new default outfit, a purple and white striped dress with blue and pink flowers, which is actually her traveling outfit, but then she retired in 2011. But in 2017, which is 3 years after the Be Forever line came out, Felicity returned as she wore a blue and yellow dress with a red flower pattern with yellow stems. And not to mention they gave her darker green eyes at the time too. But then she retired again in 2019, which is when the Be Forever line came to an end and returned back to the historical line. But then in 2021, she returned once again for the 35th anniversary, and she's currently being sold for the 40th anniversary. And she has her electric green eyes back along with her rose-patterned outfit. And that's it for Felicity.